So would you say that people throughout your life, they may not have recognized your spirit more than your body, whether they, your body changes as you grow and you get older, but some people's spirit, you can see it in their eyes or their aura, whereas yours has completely changed over the years, possibly through your army experience and through everything else.
Mhm. It's very interesting that you say that. I I think what I believe has happened in within me is as a child, I had no confidence. As a child, no one had any expectation of greatness within me. As a child, I was viewed as being mentally retarded because I was dyslexic and unable to learn. I was taken out of the school environment when I was 8 years old and put on a ranch. And I was a cowboy until I was 14 and a half. Then I came back to school for an educational experience. And people, and this is most of the people I went to high school with, they just knew this guy that, let's just say, I was just ignorant. I didn't know anything. I was innocent because I had never been in the school experience, so I didn't know how to deal with the shenanigans that kids want to play on one another. I was just not prepared for that. I'd been a cowboy, I'd done things that cowboys would do, but schools did not allow you to do the things to take revenge back, that kind of a routine. So when I went into the military, and I ended up in the unique and freakish kind of circumstances that presented for me, I was put into an environment that kind of taught me things. I think it really changed me in many ways. It gave me a sense that I could accomplish, that I was intelligent, that I was bright, that I had certain skill sets that few people actually had that, well, they actually benefited the military. When I came out of that, I did a 180. This is kind of like going to sound crazy. I went from being, a guy that was in severe combat doing like special operations kind of work, and I decided that I needed to do something that was a 180 from what that was. And so I became a Christian minister, still carry the title of reverend. And not only did I become one, but the church that had me do the seminary thing with them, I ended up in Germany for 18 months trying to be a minister. So now I had to learn German language. I had to understand German culture. So now it's a totally different environment, a totally different new set of skills, but I'm an angry veteran. I am, and I'm the guy that punched out a dude in church, because he had punched his wife and gave her a black eye. So churches and we all came to the agreement that maybe I shouldn't really be a minister, and things came to an end. Came back to America, went back to school as now a mature student, and took on the psychological path, studied psychology, studied counseling, ended up getting a master's degree, getting a doctorate degree, and then doing things, working in the world of substance abuse. A bunch of people who are ghosts. So a ghost was
Mm,
working with a lot of people who were ghosts who didn't even know who they were, and trying to help them figure out who they are. While I guess I'm trying to figure out who I am.
mm.
And I came over here to work with ghosts in Europe because I took a job over here uh, doing addictions work, uh, not only the drug addictions and the alcohol addictions, but the process addictions, the gambling, the sex addictions, and all that kind of stuff was what I specialized in. So I was doing the process addictions in that group and leading them, uh, until I finally just came to a point where in 2010 where I said, I'm just burned out. I can't do that
Yeah.
work anymore. And so I
Gary,
went on
your
to something
story,
else.
on different levels, different ways, we're on parallels. I don't know how many different hats all of us in this group put on. But I was going to just throw this over to Zach, because when you mentioned the church, Zach and you have a very special connection, don't you, Zach?
In what way? Sorry.
I thought that was not. Sorry, I thought you were nodding along. You have a special service that you provide, don't you, Zach, relating to death and marriage and
oh yeah. Oh, what the sorry, in my other life, yeah. I was trying to think, what have I done? What have I done? No, I do I used to marry people for a living, and at the moment I do some celebrant. I'm a celebrant, as the person at and a registrar, and also now do funerals. So I'm at the other end of the table as well.
It's funny because all of your life experiences on one side, I tick all the boxes, and then on the other side, Zach's got them covered. So we're all living in a similar zone here. It's
very
great.
Weird. Very weird.
Great stuff. Okay. Well, anyway, wow. I mean, lives led and experiences, incredible. I think between the three of us, we've probably got about 200 years worth of life crammed into a podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Zach, do you have any questions for Gary before we head towards our...
Yeah, I just want to touch on the your life in the military, and how coming out of that. And it's not really a question, really. I suppose it's more of a statement. It feels like we're talking about what is real and what isn't real, and the illusion that we're fed, and how people, you can disappear within life. It must be very strange, because you're told you came out of the military not being able to talk about the experience that you had because of state secrets. And to me, it just goes to show that when it comes to history, that's also something that we can't trust, can we? Whatever events have happened over the years, including the wars and everything, history is written primarily by the winner. So we don't get the full picture, but then we don't get the full picture on day-to-day activities anyway, do we? In historical events. And I suppose in your case, with your wife being Ukrainian, you can see that happening with the Russians as well, in a sense.
Well, yeah, I can see that clearly. But Zach, the thing that I discovered in my life is that the truth will set you free. And so when you are compelled by the powers that should not be in life, telling you that you can't do this, but you can do this story, that never sat well with me. I never felt comfortable with it. So silence was the alternative to going along with a huge fabrication. I know a lot of people who confabulate their lives. They take the really ugly stuff and they minimize it, and they take the rather mediocre things and turn them into victories, because that's the history that they need to live for their life. But the problem is that is the doorway to poor mental health. That is the doorway to living a life of stolen valor, and you will be found out. I don't know if you guys watch different things on the YouTube, but I just watched something so traumatic with the Portland City Council. There was a woman in there who had created this military history. I mean, she was in the military, she had done some things, but she had said that she had participated in different events that she never had. Plus, she also claimed that she had degrees from schools. And as a business leader, she had conned a lot of people, apparently, based on her quote unquote degrees and business experience. And she was confronted in a city council with her military record and her academic record. And she tried to stop the thing, but they said, no, we have to let this guy have his time. And so then she decided that she was just going to walk out. But it's all sitting there. And this is the problem. When you confabulate and the truth comes to you, you are bound by bondage of your past, that you created the change. It's like Jacob Marley in the Christmas story. He's created all of these chains. He forged each one himself by all the actions and choices of his life. In my case, I feel liberated because I stayed true by just being quiet. Nobody can actually confront me and say, well, I've had people try to come back and say, look, we've gotten your military record out and it just pretty much doesn't say anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I didn't say anything either.
Wow. Yeah. Fascinating.
Okay, well, we're now getting to the time now we've got to wrap this up. So let me just say, first of all, Gary, thank you so much for spending the time with us. It was educational.
Absolutely.
Enjoyable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So
I've enjoyed meeting you all.
And this is also a monumental pod today because it's the last in series 2. So we've come to the end of our alienation group or pod series, and we're going to move into another one, a new era next week, which will be all about storytelling, which is an area that we all relate to strongly. So yeah, once again, Gary, thank you so much for joining us. But before we leave our fellow podcast outsiders, we wanted to share that everything will remain the same. Stay where you are, stay tuned in. We are still coming at you, but from a different perspective next week. As I say, we'll be focusing on storytelling. For those of you who have not yet claimed the amazing PDF that we've been offering every week for the last 16 weeks.
Yes.
It's now a great opportunity for you to claim your 5 steps to living your best life as an outsider. And you can claim that this week by going to our Facebook page, which is Zach?
At hip not to be square.
There you go. That's
nearly
one in itself.
I nearly lost that one.
And if you write in the chat, outsider, we will send you your 5-step PDF on return of message. We will also be unveiling a new form of artwork, which you'll see on our Facebook page and on our YouTube link and various other things. So new things are happening and we're very excited. But anyway, just to wrap up, thanks once again, Gary. Thanks, Zach. Have you got any final things to say before we disappear?
Just to say thank you so much, Gary. A real pleasure and honor to speak to you.
It was great to be with the 3 of you, or 2 of you, the 3 of us together. I enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Anyway, we'd love having you with us, and stay tuned, and we'll see you again, same time, same back channel next week. So see you, Zach. See you, Gary. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.